One second, sorry. So Krishna says, um, when one work without attachment, it does not get into the bondage. Because when we get attached to the results, we become cause for that results. When we become cause for that result, we should also become responsible for the result. And we have to, if it is a pious activity, we will accumulate pious karma. If it is impious activity, we will accumulate impious karma. So to expand both papa karma and punya karma, we have to take birth and again. So, but when we get detached, right, and do it, we don't get into that bondage. So Krishna explained two yogas. One is Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. But what Krishna is advising Arjuna, in any part of the Bhagavad Gita, you won't find Krishna advising Arjuna to go and take sannyasas. For Krishna, now we have to do our prescribed duty. Through doing prescribed duty, also, we can attain liberation. So Krishna is saying, hey Arjuna, I mentioned abominable activities or those activities which you work for your self-enjoyment. Buddhi yoga that I mentioned is same as the karma yoga where you work without attachment. So don't get confused. So then Krishna is explaining Jnana Yoga, where people try to differentiate between matter and spirit, and Karma Yoga, where we work without attachment. And Krishna is also explaining, hey Arjuna, you don't think that it is very easy to become detached, and go to a forest and be a sannyasi. No, if you do it prematurely, because you are a kshatriya, you have a fighting spirit, but you think, I want to take a sannyas, I want to go to forest. You won't be able to do that, because when you go to the forest, you will fight with other people, because that is your kshatriya spirit. And Krishna is advising Arjuna, um, to do his activity, to do his karma, to do his prescribed duty, to do his kshatriya duty. So that is what we have seen so far in the um, third chapter. And Krishna also mentioned in the third chapter, it is, people, when they take premature sannyasis or premature renunciation, you know, they will still be attached to it. For example, if a millionaire suddenly donates everything and goes to and some places and stays there, you will always be thinking about the money that he has donated. But when he does his own duty without any attachment over a period of time, he gets matured. And then, if he wants, he can detach and then, be a jnana yogi. But for Arjuna and for in general, Krishna advises do your prescribed duty. So that is what we have seen so far. And in the In the ninth shloka of the previous verse, Krishna is saying, Krishna is uplifting a little bit more. So far, Krishna has been saying, work with detachment. Don't get attached to the results. Because to get a result, positive or negative, it is not in our hands. There are three factors. One is we have to do our duty to the best of our effort, of our ability. And the second thing is Krishna, who is in our heart and everyone's heart, has to approve it, and then the Prakriti has to execute it. So and in fact, in the 18th chapter, Krishna expands it. There are five factors for any activity to be done and for any activity to be successful or failure. So it is not in our hands. What is in our hands is we have to do our duty to the best of our ability. And now Krishna takes it to the one level above. You do it not only with the detachment, and do it for my satisfaction. Do it with the devotion. That's what Krishna says here. Yajnartat, as a duty. Okay. Just as a sacrifice. Don't worry about positive. results or negative results, for success or failure, come out of it, do it as a devotion, do it as a offering to me, because that makes sense. Arjuna does not want to fight, but Krishna wants Arjuna to fight it. So finally, if you see at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says that all his doubts got clarified and he is ready to listen to Krishna and he is ready to fight for Krishna. So that is what is called as Yajnartha. Do your duty as a sacrifice for the sake of Krishna. Do it with the devotion. That is what Krishna is mentioning in that shloka. For example, you know, I mentioned last time, when a soldier goes to the battlefield and kills a lot of enemies, then he will be appreciated because he is working on behalf of the government. But when he comes home to his village, and if he kills anybody, he will be hanged. So that is the difference between doing it for the satisfaction of the Lord, doing it satisfaction for the government, right? And also, um, there is one more example, is given. One person who was put up, um, he, he was preventing anyone from writing anything on his white wall in front of his house. But the kids are kids. But one kid said, "No, I'm going to go and write it in that white wall." But everybody warned him, "Don't go there. Otherwise, you'll be caught and he will beat you like anything." But he went there, he wrote something, and then, as expected, that boy was caught. He was taken inside home. But the boy came out with a chocolate, and everybody was surprised. "Hey, you are writing something?" But but that person did not even punish you. He said he wrote it in that white wall, stating, "Please don't write anything in this wall. It is prohibited." And the master or the owner of the house was very happy because he is doing that work for him. Likewise, if you do any work for the sake of the Lord, with the devotion, for the satisfaction of the Lord, we won't be get punished, or we won't be, getting into the cycle of the samsara or bondage. We won't incur reactions. That is what is very important. Um, it is said, and okay. Now let us go to the cycle of sacrifice. Now this will be
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
This is Sandeep. Let me ask you a question on
Sure.
this. So you gave a very good example that a soldier who's fighting for the country, that is his duty to fight over there and kill the enemies. But the same person, when comes home, if he kills somebody in his village, it is different. He will be hanged, right? So that's a good example. But help me and help my daughter how the Krishna's preaching to Arjun is relevant in our real life example. I know I just gave the example of the soldier. So our kids, so many kids are here on this call. Can you relate to that? And also as an adult, as parents, we go to our job and all that, right? If you can relate, I know every time I listen to these great lectures, I love them, but sometimes it becomes difficult to relate them to our day-to-day activities and day-to-day work. So if you can relate, that would really help.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I try to touch upon that point. For example, for the kids, I tell this to my kids, whether they listen or not is a different thing. you know, when they go for a competition or when they go for some work, I used to tell them, just put your effort, do the best of your ability and leave the rest to Lord Krishna, right? And if you succeed, offer that to Krishna. Say, Krishna, thank you so much. Because of your mercy, I'm able to, you know, able to succeed in this effort. Or if you fail, learn from that and then proceed. Don't get hung up on the success or failure. Whatever you get it, offer it to Krishna. That is one practical step. And same for us as well, right? You know, um, doing it everything as for the satisfaction of the Krishna. Say, for example, I work, right? I earn money, right? And I buy a house, right? So when I buy a house, at least in general, the mindset should be this house belongs to Krishna. This house is not mine. I'm going to use this house, you know, to make ourselves to be more Krishna consciousness. This is the abode of Sri Sri Radha Krishna, right? And for example, I will tell you a story. In Mahabharata, when Krishna came as a Pandava Tuda, right? And Duryodhana said, "Hey Krishna, I have a big palace. Please come to my home." And Krishna said, "No, I came as a messenger. I cannot stay in your house." And then Bhishma said, "No, I'm like a tapasvi. You can come to my house." And Krishna said, "Okay, let us see." And then Kripacharya said, "Krishna, please come to my home. And I also have a house, that you can accommodate. You can come. We can accommodate you." And everybody was asking. And then finally, when it was the time of Vidur, and Vidur said, "Hey, Krishna, um, you have a house in Astinapur. You have a good house, but it's small. But you please come to your house and stay." Krishna said, "Yes, I have a house in Astinapur. I will stay." So that is his mentality. Likewise, we can have that mentality if you have a house, dedicate it for Krishna, do have deity worship, or like we do like Parayana, or chant the holy name, or if you earn money, right, offer a certain portion of it, for example, uh, for for the temple or for any other programs. We can think of one by one. See, the point is, how do we bring Krishna to at least any corner of our mindset, and then Krishna will crawl, and at one point in time, he'll become your center.
So basically, you are saying that obviously, as a social animal or as part of a social system, parents have to work, they have to do their job, to earn the money, to raise the family and everything like that. And our kids, as a part of their life, they have to go to school and do their academics and all that. So
Right.
basically, whatever we do in daily life, we
Mhm.
should think while doing that we are devoting that work or karma to Lord Krishna, right? That
Yes.
should be your mindset.
Yes. Offer that to Krishna. So slowly, what will happen is, it will you will keep thinking Krishna more and more, and uh, your attachment, too much attachment to the material things, will come down, and you will spend more time, in chanting the holy name, in doing devotional service to the Lord. Right. The main purpose is that being Krishna conscious is that to understand that I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. When we keep working more and more to satisfy, um, you know, to sense gratification, right? We'll be in the bodily platform. But when we keep thinking about Krishna more and more, when we do work for Him, or when we do the devotional service, and when we do a sacrifice for Him, those type of thing, we come out of the bodily platform and we realize that we are a spirit soul, and the role of the spirit soul is to be a servant of the Lord, to serve the Lord. Like for example, this sacrifice is a common term. There are two things. So what we are doing now, right? This is also a sacrifice. As per our shastras, what we are doing is a sacrifice. You might have some time to watch any movie or any other thing, but you have taken time to come here. That is a sacrifice. And in Krishna's book, Krishna will write, "My devotee Sandip has spent time, to understand Bhagavad Gita." And Krishna will do the same thing for all of us, and for me as well. What I am doing is kirtanam. What you are doing is shravanam. So if we incorporate small things over a period of time. We learn how to incorporate more and more into our daily life to make it more perfect.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Makes sense.
Thank you. So as I mentioned, there are, this is a good topic that you came, it's a segue. The cycle of sacrifice, Krishna is going to explain, right? Sacrifice has two things attached to it, form and principle. Like, for example, take Yogasana, tells us a form and principle. How? Yogasana, where we will do some poses, right? Meditation, pranayama, breathing, everything. That is a form. But the principle of yoga, as per Patanjali Sutra, is to connect our consciousness to the Lord. That is yoga. That's why in Bhagavad Gita you always see Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, all yoga. Through each and everything, we try to connect our consciousness to the Lord. So in yoga, you see two things. Form is postures and everything. And the principle is connecting our consciousness. Likewise, in sacrifice also, there are two things. One is form, where we do, we create, we have fire sacrifice and we do ahuti, oblations and everything. That is form. But the principle is sacrificing. I could have used something, fruits, vegetables, or ghee, or anything at the time. I could have used it for myself, but I am offering it to the Lord in the fire, right? That is that is that is the principle, and form is literally doing the sacrifice, right? So there are two things. One is form, where fire sacrifice, and the principle is I could have used that ghee or fruits or anything for myself, but I'm sacrificing it to the Lord. I'm sacrificing it. So the sacrifice itself a beautiful thing, right? The Paramo Deva is Vishnu, and the easily available and the lowest Devata is Agni, right? So Agni is transported. So you invoke Agni and you give a ahuti, everything, and it transports it and sends it to the Devatas or to Vishnu, right? So it's a very important concept. Some people will ridicule it or belittle it, but it is said that one will get the spiritual and material benefit, right, based out of the sacrifice. For example, I go to the bank, PNC Bank, and I deposit $5,000, and in turn they give me a debit card. My kids will be maybe laughing at me. Hey, Dad, you gave him $5,000, but you're just getting a card, plastic card. Likewise, right? Even the sacrifice also. If we have faith and belief in our shastras, if you do all these sacrifices in the fire sacrifice, ahuti, everything, it reaches to the devatas. It reaches to all the devatas, and in turn, the devatas will bless us. But in reality, the topmost, all the yajnas, the beneficiary is Krishna or Vishnu, right? Whatever that we do, the superior, the person who enjoys at the top is Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. I'm the beneficiary for all the sacrifices. You do it for Agni, you do it for Chandra, Indra, and everything, but ultimately it goes to uh, Vishnu or Krishna. But when we are not at that level, the Krishna says, at least do it for other devatas. That is the point. I just want to touch upon the sacrifice here, so that we understand a little bit more. So let me go to the shlokas here. Anybody wants to recite it after me? Kesha, are you on the call?
Prabhuji, I can.
Oh, please. Thank you. Sa. So this is about happiness by Yajna.
Happiness by Yagna.
Yajna praja sriftva
सह यज्ञ प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
पुरोवाचः प्रजापतिः
अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम्
अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम्
येषवोस्त्व
एषवोस्त्व
इष्टकामदुक्.
इष्टकामदुक्. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, Be thou happy by this yagna, which is sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. You are reciting it very well. I think you're also learning along with Meda, I believe.
Oh, yes, she's correcting me actually.
Oh, okay,
Because,
okay. Oh, that is great. I think Mataji's daughter is learning Bhagavad Gita, you know. Uh, so we are teaching small kids Bhagavad Gita. Mataji's daughter is learning. I think I see that Mataji is also reciting very well. Thank you. So um, here Krishna says, so Krishna initially said, work with the detachment. And next he said, work with detachment, but also work with the detached devotion. Do it for my satisfaction. Because why we have to satisfy Krishna? That is another question, right? So it is said, um, when you water the roots of the plant, right, the whole tree is nourished. Likewise, when we are hungry, our fingers do not eat, our head do not eat, our legs do not eat, but we eat it for our belly or stomach. So when the food passed to the stomach, all other limbs, everything got nourished. Likewise, throughout Bhagavad Gita, you will find that when we satisfy Krishna, right? When we offer to Krishna, when we satisfy to Krishna, we will get automatically be satisfied. That is a easy way. When we align ourselves to Krishna, it is like when you put a rod into a fire, iron rod into a fire, over a period of time, the rod becomes fire. Likewise, when we align ourselves to Krishna, right? And when we make Krishna satisfied, we will also get satisfied. So that is a point here. In the beginning of the creation, a lot of all creatures, it could be a Brahma or Vishnu. Vishnu is the primary creator and Brahma is the second creator. So here it is said, along, along with the sacrifices for Vishnu, they are created and they are blessing. With these sacrifices, you know, you'll get everything that you want. You'll get whatever desirable that you want for living happily and achieving liberation. So it is very important to understand. Um, uh, we need to understand, what is happening around us. Lot of things happening without even our knowledge. So the water gets evaporated and goes to the top, and then it again comes down as a rain, and then in the morning we put light in the home. Similarly, we have sunlight, and in the night we put dim light in the bedroom. Likewise, we have a dim light chandra, and because of the rain, we get all the fruits and vegetables. Everything is happening in an orderly fashion. Uh, if you take your time and think about it, how these things are happening very in an orderly fashions, right? We say Newton's law, um, we say law of thermodynamics, we say law of physics, law of gravitational force, everything. But where there is law comes into picture, who creates that law? We know we discover a law, but how that law is in the first place, right? And if you see Fibonacci series, the flowers bloom and they are formed like a Fibonacci series. And if you take a pineapple, everything is a Fibonacci series 1, 1, 3, 5, 8, 13, something like that. And if you Google it, you'll find that, And even the galaxies, they have a pattern Fibonacci series. So everything is in orderly fashion. If you take two houses, you know, in India, we can find, say, for example, two houses. One house is well maintained, clean, and the other house, a lot of leaves. You can find it outside the house. Some windows are broken. But what you'll think is in the house which is well maintained, you'll think that somebody is there who is making it. There is an order. But in the house which is broken, right, there is no one there. Likewise, if you think about it, throughout this universe, everything is happening in a very orderly fashion. Our Shastra says it is not by chance. It is because of the universal government of which Krishna or Vishnu is the supreme, and all of the devatas executing the instructions or order from the supreme lord. That is why we have, for example, we have a ministry for water. In the universe we have Varuna Bhavan. We have for rain we have Indra. We have for air we have Vayu. Like um, for home ministry, right, to maintain law and order, right, within a country. In the universe, we have law of karma, right? If somebody makes any mistakes in a city or state, they are getting arrested, they are getting being punished. But similarly, we have a law of karma, where Yamadharma is the one who is giving the punishment. If somebody, too much drinking, smoking, he gets into the law of karma and he faces it, right? And if he is following healthy lives, right, he's becoming more and more healthy. Likewise, we have a universal government that is acting upon us without even we being knowing about it. But these are all mentioned in the Shastras. That is why here Krishna says, um, you know, you you do sacrifice for those, you do sacrifice, you do work as a sacrifice to me, please me. Or if you are not at that level, because there are a lot of people who cannot directly take up or go to Vishnu or Krishna. They will go to, for example, Indra, Chandra, or any other god below Krishna. He said, okay, you do it as a sacrifice even for them, right? And they will give you a benediction. You live happily, and over a period of time, what will happen is, if you pray to other devatas, what will happen is, over a period of time, our consciousness improves, and when we inquire more and more, we will find that Krishna or Vishnu is the primary person who is behind all of them. At some point in time, we will start worshipping Krishna. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. After many, many millions of birth, a person with knowledge, right, surrenders unto me. But that person is so durlabha, that is very, very rare. So for those people, Krishna advises, okay, you still pray to the other demigods, other devatas. That's what it says here. He created human beings, devatas, and the process of sacrifice. Okay, now Krishna comes to the cooperation between men and demigods. Anybody wants to recite it after me? Okay. Saundarji, do you want to chant?
Yeah, I can try. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Devan Bhavayatanena.
Devan.
Yeah.
Yes. Sure, try, please.
Yeah. I can repeat. Yeah, I want to.
Got it. Devan bhavayatanena
Devan Bhavayatanena.
te deva bhavayantu vaha
Te Deva Bhavayantu Vaha.
parasparam bhavayantaha
Parasparam bhavayantaha
Shreyah paramavapsyata.
Shreyah paramavapsyata.
Thank you, Ji. Can you please?
Being pleased by sacrifices will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all.
Thank you, Sandraji. So here, Krishna says, you do some sacrifices, and the demigods get pleased, and they will give you the benediction. They will give you whatever that you want, and you do sacrifice to them, and they will reciprocate. This is like a parasparam, right? Reciprocal between two of you. In that way, you will achieve the full benefit. Shreya, as I used to mention in many calls, Shreya means long-term benefits. By cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. So that is what Krishna is saying. Here, as I mentioned, the sacrifices is a umbrella term. One is um, fire sacrifice, and the other sacrifice is just following your prescribed duty, and doing with devotion, for the Lord. Now, all are sacrifices. So if you do it for a specific demigod, also they will, reciprocate with what you want. That's what Krishna says in this shloka. And this is also important shloka. Anybody wants to recite it after me?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'll do it.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Ishtan bhogan hi wo deva
Ishtan Bhoga hi wo deva
दास्यन्ते यज्ञभाविताः
dasyante yagna bhavinta
तैर्दत्तान प्रदायेभ्यो
tairat danat tapragyanto
यो भुङ्क्ते स्तेन एव सः.
yo pante stena avesa.
Thank you.
In charge of the various necessity of life, the demigods being satisfied by the performance of yagna, sacrifice, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
So this is also a very important point. Krishna says, we get the rain, we get the light, we get air, and we get the fruits and vegetables and everything. But Krishna here it points out, when you get something, we should reciprocate. It should not be like one way, right? For example, we had a Margari or Margashisha month, last month, where in Margari month, in South India, in all the Perumal temple, Sri Venkateswara temple, they will give for each day, they will give different, prasadam. One day, tamarind rice, another day, curd rice and everything. That is to attract the people to come to the temple. But the expectation is they come to the temple, they get more benefit, they develop the devotion, right? It's not like we go to the temple just for ordering, right? We should go to the temple with love and affection. The temples are not like restaurants, they are like hospitals where we go and get cured. And likewise, here Krishna is saying all the demigods are supplying so much, um, you reciprocate. Before eating food, you offer it to them, right? Likewise, if you don't do it, it is like you are a thief. That's what Krishna is saying. Because when we are born, right, when we are born himself, Krishna has made all the arrangements. We get the mother's milk, and when you grow up, we have the fruits and vegetables. Though we need to endeavor to buy the fruits and vegetables, but the fruits and vegetables are not manufactured in the factories. They're all there because of these devatas who work under Krishna. So here Krishna is saying, just offer when you before you eat, offer them to the demigods. But the highest thing is offer it to Krishna or Vishnu. But here Krishna says, when we are not at that level, just offer it to demigods, whoever demigods that you like. If not, you are like a thief. That's what Krishna says. And this is a very important shloka. After that, we will wrap up. Anybody wants to repeat it after me? Pradeepak, do you want to read this? Keshav, are you there?
Yeah.
Can you recite this?
यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापाः ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्.
The translation?
The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first to sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only.
Thank you, Keshav. So this is a very, very important shloka. If we understand this shloka, I think our life will be very much changed. So here Krishna says, the devotees, here this is specifically for Krishna, but this can be applicable to other devatas. But here the Acharya is explaining this is very specific to Krishna. When we offer the food to Krishna and eat the remnants, it removes all the sins. Because the prasadam is also called as Paraks Sakshat Darshan. You will see the Lord in the prasadam. It's a mercy of the Lord. When we partake the prasadam, it removes the sins. When Prabhupada came here to US at the age of 70 years, he was just chanting on the park. At that time, there were a lot of hippies who does everything under the sun, and they were also, they found the Hare Krishna Mahamantra very soothing and then very pleasing. They started, and then Prabhupada, every day, he used to make hundreds of chapatis and gulab jamins. He used to feed them. After offering the food to Krishna, he used to feed them. And then he will ask them to chant. So it is the Acharyas explained, with our tongue itself, we can go back home, go back to Godhead, we can go back to Vaikuntha. We have to follow two things to start with. One is chant the holy name, chant the Harinam, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? Chant the Harinam. And second, eat only the food offered to the Lord, right? It is very important, But within few weeks after Prabhupada started, giving them the prasadam, those hippies, they slowly started changing. They understood the etiquettes and everything. They said, Swamiji, I will try to help you. And then they slowly changed. It is a proven fact, And within a few months, they all become very much interested in Krishna consciousness. They became a devotee of Krishna and they become disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So just by chanting the holy name, Harinam, just by eating the food offered to the Lord, it purifies us. It is said, Ahara Shuddhav, Chitta Shuddhav. When our food is sanctified, right, it purifies our mind. When our mind is purified, it is said that our brain tissue gets, subtle brain tissues, develop, which helps us to make progress in the devotion. So it is very important, we offer the food and then partake it, at least you can also try. This is a practical example, like Sandeep Prabhuji said. Is there anything practical? Just try to eat one day. You don't need to do anything. Just prepare. If you make idli or chapati or anything, just take the food and offer it in front of Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayana, right? And then say, you gave me this food, and then I thanks for your mercy. Because of that, I'm going. We are able to make this food and then offer it to you. Thanks for your mercy. And then you partake the food, right? And then see how it, how it affects our mentality, right? How it affects our consciousness, right? One day, it happens when Mahatma Gandhi was in the prison, after eating, dinner or so, the next morning, he called the warden. I want to know who has prepared the food because I'm getting a feeling that I'm very much angry with my mother. I was feeling like I have to kill my mother. I don't know why it is happening to me. I'm not like that. But I want to see who has prepared the food. And then warden told there was a prisoner, there was accused who killed his mother. He only prepared the food for you. Then Mahatma Gandhi said, no, please change that person, right? That way, whoever makes the food, right, the consciousness will also get into the food. That is why sometimes um, when you go to the food out, when you eat food restaurants or any places, right? When you come home, you'll feel something. There'll be a fight or quarrel or anything because it is about the mentality of the person who is making the food. But when one prepares the food for Krishna, Radha Krishna, oh, I'm preparing this food so that Lord will taste this food. That when you prepare that food, and even if it is a very simple food, right, and offer it to Krishna, Radha Krishna, or Lakshmi Narayana, right, and then partake it, you'll see the change in your consciousness. And it is said that will remove all the sinful reactions because the sinful reactions are the ones which is not helping us to progress in the devotional path. But when we start chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, when we eat the prasadam offered to the Lord, what will happen is those sinful reactions will be, subdued, and we can make progress in the devotional service. So another important thing is we are talking about a lot of yajnas. In Kali Yuga, this is very important. Eating the prasadam. And the other important thing is Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yajnanam Japo Yajñosmi. Of all the sacrifices, I am Japa. That's why, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years back. He spread the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So I request everyone chant as much as possible this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is also a sacrifice. Krishna says, Yajnanam Japo Yajñosmi. Japa Yajñosmi. So that's very important. So this is a practical tip. Let us see if you could, at least one day or one meal, just prepare it, just offer it to Krishna, Radha Krishna, or your deities, and then partake the food after thanking them. That's all I wanted to cover this today. Anyone wants to add anything?
Only one question.
Yes, sure.
So generally I just want to understand and maybe improve myself. You said that while you gave a very good example that when we go and eat outside at restaurant and sometime when we come home, obviously that food is not prepared prepared by somebody who works on that restaurant and may not have a religious or pious intention while preparing the food because he's doing his job and he may not have a for the lack of better word uh, religious intention. But when somebody, our parents or mothers or whosoever is cooking the food, when they prepare the food, they prepare generally food with love because
Yes.
they know that the food is going to be eaten by the family members.
Yes.
So are you saying that while preparing the food, we should do Mahamantra Jap or keep thinking about God? Or just before eating the food, we should, generally when I eat my food, dinner, I just go towards to the food and I say, thank you, God, for giving the food just in my mind or in my heart. And, sometimes I say, Lord Krishna, sometimes anything, Paramatma. I'm a Hindi speaking guy, so I generally do a prayer in Hindi.
Yes.
That's what I do. But I think while preparing the food, sometime when I prepare the food, I do not really, it doesn't come to mind to chant the name of the God. So are you saying both time we should do that, or it is more important while cooking the food, preparing the food?
Yeah, actually, there are different levels, right? So, but I'm glad that you're taking the food and then you offer prayers to the Lord. But when the mother prepares, she prepares it out of love. See, next level is right preparing the food for Lord. Now that satisfies two things, right? When you prepare the food, you also think about the Lord, and then prepare it, and then the Lord takes the food, and then leaves the remnants, and then you take the food. It is up to us, but the highest standard is right when even when we prepare the food. If you think, hey Krishna, I'm preparing this food, we don't even taste the food. When we prepare food for Krishna, right? We don't taste the food. I'm preparing this food. I hope it comes very well. And it is said the the kitchen department is Radharani's department or goddess Lakshmi's department. Right. That is why when you go to Grihaprasam, we boil milk, right? It is that department, right? So in that consciousness, when you prepare it, I'm preparing this food for Krishna. That improves our consciousness, Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that's a next level. First thing is, offer the food and then eat it. But if you could be able to prepare the food, put a chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chanting of holy names, or listen to any lectures of the Lord, and then it increases the, what to say, the spirituality.
I got it what you're saying, but I think what I'm understanding is that even if the food cooking process takes, let's say, 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour, if we cannot enchant all 45 minutes,
Yes,
whatever we can do, that is helpful.
yes, anything.
Okay. Whatever time, maybe 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever
Yeah.
time we can afford.
Yeah. I know. Now, it comes as a gradual process, right? I know some devotees, some people, they chant always, or they listen to any lectures, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. It comes gradual, but the thing is, we have to take some step to sanctify it. Now,
Thank you.
sometimes when you go out, right, we may not have the food, right? Somebody might have prepared, unfortunately, oh no, there is no other way. So at least we have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, say Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, and then eat it, that's also there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that if I may add something, right?
Please.
So that is what you call the Shraddha, right? So when we make the food, whether we make it food at home or consume it outside, so we do not know if whatever the mindset that person preparing it was at during the making of the food, particularly the restaurants and other places, right?
Yes.
So that means it's been kind of validated that if you are very angry and make the food prepare when you are making the food,
Yes.
so that mindset is going to be affecting the food. The people who are eating the food, they may also have it is what they call in English, right, rubbing it on, right? So if that's why it's called satsangam, right? So if you think, when two people are talking, if one person is very nice to the other person, automatically the other person is going to reciprocate. So it's what we call give it forward kind of thing. So if the person is angry, the other person is going to be either angry, or he will just walk away from that, right? So which is rare. Most of the time we all retaliate. That is our human mindset. So that being said, when we make the food, particularly, that's why at home when we make the food, they always say you cannot allow your mind, you cannot restrain your mind from wandering. So when the mind wanders, we are making food, you think about this thing. Oh, this guy did that yesterday, this work and this thing. So your focus is lost. So, and it works both ways. One, the purity of the food or the thought process while making the food, that is one thing impacted. The second thing is you may end up adding more or less of salt or other ingredients, right? So that means it's not going to be a fully complete food. So that's why when we focus on God, which is common to all of us, right? So rather than thinking positive, now your question comes like, what is positive for me may not be positive enough for you. So what is positive may not be for another person, even within the household. So that's why we, the Shastras and, our Acharyas have said, focus on God. It doesn't matter how long you are able to, it's just the mindset. So your mindset should be tuned towards that. Hey, I am making this food. I am going to offer it to the God. So I'm going to purify the food by offering to God. So that when we have tune ourselves to that mindset, then everything else will fall into place. And the second part is, you are asking about what if we eat outside or we buy food from outside, right? So we do not know what mindset that person, because he is making in a mass scale. So he may be thinking, he may be this thing. So we do not know how food is contaminated. When I say contamination, not necessarily by ingredients, even the thought process, right? So that's why, Prabhuji said, you offer it to God. Krishna, Krishna, please accept this. This is my offering, humble offering. I did not make it myself, but at least, I want to offer. This is the best I could do at this under the circumstances. Please bless this food. So Krishna is not going to eat all of that, right? It's just our mindset. So slowly and steadily, we tune ourselves to Krishna. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Very helpful. Very helpful.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's a very important concept. This is something practical that we can try. Now, let us try one day. Maybe tomorrow when you're at home, see how it improves our consciousness. So it's very important. So when somebody will say, when I offer the food is there. I don't know whether Krishna has eaten it or not. That is a different thing, right? Because we all have faults. When we eat, it decreases. But Krishna is the supreme Lord. When we say, there is a shloka, Purnamidam, Purnamada, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vishyati. Everything comes from Krishna is complete itself. When the world, when everything emerges from Krishna, Krishna is still complete. When Krishna takes the food, it is still complete, right? So that's the reason. The food is still there. Krishna has consumed the food. Krishna has taken the food, tasted the food, but it is still there. We can still eat it. So this is a nice picture. When Krishna shares the food with all the gopas when he goes out for grazing. But beauty of this scene is that all the gopas will sit around Krishna, and thousands like lotus petals. But it will look like as if Krishna is looking at each and every one of them. That's a beauty. I just thought I'm looking at this picture. Anyone wants to add anything? Any other realization? Any other takeaways?
Yeah, Prabhu, I just want to add one thing.
Sure,
Since
please.
you mentioned, right? So some people question, I mean, out of ignorance or curiosity or just for mischievousness, they ask, hey, you are offering to God, how do I know God has taken the food? Because the quantity has not lessened. So, Paramacharya or Mahapiriva, right? Shankaracharya. So, he in his what you call the Deivatin Kural or voice of God. So his discourses have been compiled, right? So he used to give an example. Yeah, that it's like reading a book. Everybody says, you have one book. And
Yes.
first person reads it. So he asks a person, hey, have you read it fully? Yes. Have you understood? Yes. Then, so now go back and open the book.
Is it still there?
Everything is intact. Okay.
Yes.
Now all pages are intact. All the teachings, writings, everything is there. Hey, you told me just now that you have read everything. So that means you have consumed the book. So,
Yes.
but it is still there. The book exists. So what happened? So that is similar to the offering of a food. So like you said, right? It is not that he is going to physically consume it. It is just the mind, the state of mind that we are elevating ourselves. That is a thought process. That is a Krishna consciousness.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandrashi. Very good point. So, Saiji, do you want to add anything?
No.
Okay. And Srinivasji, Kaushalji?
Nothing from my end.
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anybody wants to add anything? Nirmal?
Yeah, I joined late. It was nice to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thank you, Nirmal ji. I wanted to share the story of Nammarwar. I know it is getting late. Probably next week, this is a very interesting story of is the head of hours, out of 12 hours. I thought of sharing that. I know it is getting late. We can discuss that story next week, but the hours, story comprised of a lot of captivating, pastimes and leelas that we can release next week. Any questions? Priyanka Mataji, do you have anything to add?
No, Prabhuji, the discussion was very nice today. Yeah, that is why, be it any, when you're, be it any bhog prasad or any langar food, or, even if you're cooking for any special puja at home, the
Yes.
food, although we use very simple ingredients, but the food is so tasty.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even if you see Puri, Jagannath, that khaja
Yes.
that they sell, it's like, yeah, but yeah, that's all about bhakti.
Absolutely.
It was very nice. All the discussions are very nice today, Prabhuji.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to have this type of discussion so that will also, we can share our realization, comments, or
Yes,
I
Prabhuji.
think
Yes.
Sandeep.
Thank you to others also for discussing today. Yes.
Yeah, Sandeep Prabhuji has asked questions. I think, please let us ask, and so that I can also learn from each other.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra as much as possible.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.